welcome back to another episode of Free Pour here on the Filmaholic channel. And today we're talking about 20th Century Women. We're on the way through our A24 films here, talking about certain ones. And today we're talking about this one directed by Mike Mills. Rewatched this last night. I gave it a 4 this time, which means really good. I watched it for the first time probably late 2016, early 2017. It was before the Oscars came out that year. And I really loved it, gave it a 4.5 then. It did come down a little bit for me on the rewatch. But I'm not sure, like, part of me, like, I don't think I was in the mindset to watch it last night. I wanted something more like I was watched afterwards, which was Lethal Weapon. I don't know, that's just where my head was. So, but, you know, I went online today and was, like, watching videos, like, interviews with the director and stuff, and it, like, really just made me appreciate the film even more. So when I rewatched it a third time, it may move back up to a 4.5, but right now it's a 4. What are your initial thoughts on this film?
First time I watched it, I hated the ending. I didn't like the structure, how it was just like the voiceovers, and it was like, oh, and I died. I didn't like that.
Yeah, and that's something I kind of noticed this time a little bit more. And it wasn't like really the voiceovers that bothered me and the stuff at the end. I liked the ending, but it was kind of stuff earlier on where it was like the beginning of the film, where it was like cutting to like different random shots of like the TV and stuff. I don't know, like some of that took me out of it a little bit this time.
I like the ending more this time, but still, I don't know. My big problem with it was, I don't know how you felt. I didn't really feel like there was any character development. As far as like overall arcs, like they all kind of just stayed the same.
I'm trying to think in general.
Like, cause you could have done, but I don't know. I didn't feel anything.
I think there was a little bit. I think there was somewhat character development. I think mainly, it focused on the relationship, the mother and son relationship. I think that was like the core of it, and developing them. But I would say the son developed over the film. Yeah, so it was actually based off Mike Mills' life, and this was based off like his relationship with his mom. Because I feel like we haven't really gotten a lot of films like that where it was like the mother-son relationships, usually with the daughter. So I like that. And actually, Abby was based off his sister in real life, and Julie was based off just different girls he had crushes on.
It's interesting.
So I found that interesting.
I wonder why to make Abby a sister then.
I'm not sure. His other movie, The Beginners, is actually based off his life too, with his dad.
Man,
he made that first, and then he had like a small character in that film that was based off his mom, and they like expanded on that and made this film. And I was like watching an interview with him, and he was like talking about how like that's how he likes to write his characters, is have them based off real people. Yeah. Or inspired by real people, and then work with that. I really like that idea and what he did here. I think it worked.
But I don't know if you looked into The Beginners, like how much, like what age was he at that point? Because in 20th Century Women, if it's based on like real life, his dad wasn't around.
I didn't look in. I was wondering that because I knew his dad wasn't around in this film. The character, which I think is played by Ewan McGregor in that film, is much older. But I would say that he takes bits and pieces in it that are inspired by that and then goes with it, especially with The Beginners. I feel like this was probably a little bit more true to him than The Beginners was, because it was the second film, so he got to dive more into it. And also he put this in 79 versus making a modern day. And I like that too. And the cinematography and the feel was something really excellent with this movie. It made me feel like I was actually watching the 70s versus something trying to, mimic that time period.
I did like the score and soundtrack, which he's really big into music, so it didn't surprise me.
He also did the music video, right, for The National?
Yeah. Well, it was like an album promotion, yeah. And he produced their new album. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like the music in this a lot, and I really like the different shots of the car moving.
When it was on fire.
Kind of seemed like an acid trip type thing. I thought that was cool. I liked the mom's quote, "Having your heart broken is a tremendous way to learn about the world."
Yeah.
And just the whole screenplay, different points like that it made, I thought was really good and real feeling.
I don't know. There's like certain things like I wanted more of, but it wasn't the point of the story. Like with Abby's character, like she was the one I liked the most.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like you started stuff like with her going to the doctor and then finding out, she had cancer and then couldn't have kids and then nothing.
Well, that is something. Yeah, it's like I would have liked to have followed these characters in their own little bits more.
Yeah.
But that really wasn't the point of the story. The point was him and his relationship with his mom and her bringing these women into his life.
Yeah.
And how they affected him versus actually about them. Which I think Greta Gerwig did a great job in it too.
I would have nominated her over Octavia Spencer.
I don't remember all the people that were nominated that year.
She was nominated for Hidden Figures. Shouldn't have happened.
I haven't seen that movie, so I really can't comment on it. But my favorite performance from this film is Elle Fanning.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting since you can't stand her.
I've never said that. You said that she was the better of the Fanning sisters, and I said Dakota Fanning.
I stand by that.
I do like Dakota Fanning better, but I like both of them. I just think they both have different career. They've had different career paths. Obviously, Dakota was put in. I want to say like more blockbusters and stuff like when she was younger versus Elle, who's been put in more critically successful stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking, recently I watched Elle's films when she was younger, and you had one where it was like Babel, and then one was the Benjamin Button movie.
Yeah, I remember Benjamin Button.
But I remember Dakota being in like The Cat in the Hat and War of the Worlds when she was a kid.
And when she did something with Denzel, Man on Fire or something.
Yeah. So like big, yeah. She obviously, they went a different. I don't know why they did that. They went a little bit of a different direction with her than they did with Elle. But Dakota, we recently saw her in Once Upon a Time. I hope that she gets more roles like that and with some better filmmakers. She had that other movie that come out. I think it was last year, I think before I watched. She plays an autistic character. It's really into, I think, Star Trek.
I remember you not liking it. That's all.
The movie was not good. She was good in it, but yeah, the movie was not good. But yeah, no. What's that?
I like her in most stuff. Elle Fanning.
I mean, I like her in most of it. I haven't really seen anything bad with her, but I really thought that she did well in this. Yeah, I was interested in her character.
I wouldn't have minded if they recast the what's his name? The main guy, main boy.
Billy Crudup?
No, not Billy Crudup, the boy.
The boy. Yeah.
They could have recast him.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking of when I watched it too last night. Was like, I'm not gonna say he was bad, but there's certain things that I watch and I'm like, would it have been better with a different actor? Probably.
Yeah.
I felt like that with True Romance. I watched that with Christian Slater. And like, man, if somebody else was in this role, I think it would have made it probably a half star more. Honestly, like, I like this movie a lot. I give it a 4.5, and you may be upset when I say this. I think Ferris Bueller would have been better with somebody else other than Matthew Broderick.
I don't know.
I'm not saying he's bad, and I know like it's hard.
That's something that's just an iconic character, so it's hard to think of who you put. With this, I'd be like, a couple of different actors right away, like throw them in there.
To make a better movie, yeah, I agree. I know the director, like in the interview though, he went on for like 5 minutes, like talking about why he chose this guy, like how he like embodied like every little thing that he was wanting for this character, because he's playing him essentially. Yeah. So like I understand, but
nobody else audition.
I don't know. I don't know how that went about. I know that Annette Bening, she didn't audition for the role. He just had a lunch with her, and like her talking about the script, really like that helped him make the decision that she was the right fit for the role.
Yeah, I mean, I liked her. Like I said, that was the only one I was kind of like, yeah, can we get another actor? But then honestly, he didn't have that much to do. I didn't think. I mean, the story revolves around him and his mom, but I think he takes the back seat at most.
He's
of the time.
he's overshined by all these other performances too,
Yeah.
and more interesting characters.
Yeah.
Because he's more the one that's soaking all this in, and it's affecting him. But
Because
all
even
of them that has the interesting stuff happening to them.
yeah, even in his scenes, it's like the scenes that he's in, it's like you don't even talk that much. So
Right. I think like he's just snuck into the knowledge of all these other people. And the ones with Elle Fanning, he's in love with her, so he just sits there and just in all of her. Yeah, I don't really know. Like, I'm trying to think of any of the standout scenes from him in the movie that I'm trying to think of, and then
there were none.
I did find out that the scene at the dinner table, that line with Billy Crudup was like the vagina and the woman making love type thing. That was improvised.
Nice.
That wasn't even. And I wanted to. I'm assuming that her reaction too. That's a little off topic. Was improvised as well.
Well, that's another thing too. I don't know if you found it when Annette Bening's talking to Billy Crudup upstairs when she was like grinding the staircase or something. She said, I can't remember what she said, but then she was laughing and he wasn't. She was like, "You don't have that many funny lines, do you?" And I was wondering if that was like her commenting on the script and then just walking away. Because like,
I hope so. I don't know. They didn't talk about that in the video.
That's a weird way to say it. Like, usually you're like, oh, you don't make that many jokes. It's not like you don't have that many funny lines. That definitely sounds like something in the character.
I hope it was.
Because I didn't remember that the first time when I watched it. I'm like, oh man, I think you forgot to cut this out.
He also said that he watched a lot of 1930s films to like get inspiration of how he wanted to write his mom, because I mean he's writing her based off his memory, but she's dead, so like
yeah,
how does he actually make a movie about her? So he like went to stuff that she would have watched, and like Humphrey Bogart. That's why she talks about Humphrey Bogart in this movie, is because like he got inspiration from him for his mom's character.
Yeah,
I thought all that was really interesting. And was this film nominated for screenplay? Did you?
I think that's the only thing it was nominated for.
I think it was right. I think it was original screenplay, which I'm glad it got that original screenplay nomination.
Like I say, the only other thing, like Greta, I would have nominated over Octavia Spencer. But other than that, I don't know if I would have nominated for anything. Maybe cinematography, but I mean, I think that was a pretty solid year for cinematography. So
I don't know if I would say I wouldn't nominate it for anything, because I feel like I would have nominated Annette Bening as well.
I'd have to look, see who else.
And I mean, like I said, I really liked Elle Fanning's performance, but she definitely wasn't getting nominated for it.
Well, not over Greta anyway.
Well, let me break this down too. The best actress that year was La La Land, Loving, Jackie, and Florence Foster Jenkins. So I'm sure there's lots of people that I would have taken out to put Annette Bening. The only two, I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen Elle or Florence Foster Jenkins, so I really can't say too much about either one of them.
I could imagine me not caring about Florence Foster Jenkins. I'm guessing you nominated her just because of who it was.
Well, I mean, I was looking because I recently went through and like kind of just picked people that I like 5 people from each year that I would have nominated for each Oscar category, or at least the 2010s. I kind of did that just for my personal thing. But she was nominated for Into the Woods. Like,
I know.
Yeah, that shows that you're just nominating her for just her. I think she was nominated for The Post as well.
That movie.
Which I like The Post, but she shouldn't have been nominated for it.
Yeah, I like The Post, but not Spotlight. Get out of here with your garbage. Just looking at 2016, I'm not nominating Elle Fanning or Annette Bening.
You're not?
You had Emma Stone, Amy Adams, Haley Steinfeld, Jessica Chastain, Natalie Portman.
Well, I would have only nominated Emma Stone and Natalie Portman out of those 5. What?
Over Annette Bening?
What?
Over Annette?
Out of the 5 that was nominated, I would have only nominated Natalie Portman and Emma Stone.
No, I'm talking about just like movies that I would have, like over Annette Bening.
Like Loving was good, but it was nothing special.
No, I mean like there's other performances.
Nothing about that film was really special to me.
Like the Jessica Chastain for Miss Sloane. I don't know why.
Well, yeah.
She didn't make the cut. Haley Steinfeld for Edge of 17.
That's dude. I would have nominated her. I would have nominated her and Jessica Chastain and Annette Bening. That would have been my 3 on top of Natalie Portman and
Amy Adams for Arrival, dude. You'll rewatch the movie. I'm tired of this disrespect. I already showed you what you thought of it back when it came out.
I'll rewatch it, and I'll probably give it a 4. It'll say a 4. I don't remember that great of a performance from her. I remember.
Respect.
I don't know. We'll do it later. We'll talk about it later. All right, guys. That's our 20th Century Women review. Next week, we're doing a ghost story, and Ethan's really excited to talk about that. So, all right, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.